contractor and owner. In this video, I will explain what an owner is and everything that is done as an owner, as well as everything concerned with a contractor. In this topic, the owner acts as the owner of the building that is being planned to the build. Before planning the building, of course, the owner has long thought about what things should be prepared to build or construct a new building, starting from thinking about the budget that will be used, how big the budget will, and the advantages and disadvantages in the planning the development. Besides that, before building, of course, the owner has thought about the style, model, shape, appearance, and area of the building itself. Imagine what nuance will be used in the construction plan, something new or not, following the current model or development of building style, but has its own impression and appeal. It still looks elegant and like serious, even though it has its own characteristic from the building. Already thinking about the color composition according to the desired building style. And most importantly, of course, think about the plan a building that is resistant or a building of good quality, so that building can withstand time of danger such as earthquake and so on. And everyone who want to plan to build must have also the thought about how a build a construction with efficient costs but still with high building quality. Then when the planning has entered into implementation one to the building, owner must do is always control the course of the work so that it can be as expected and in accordance with the initial plan. Correct earlier so that errors that may occur during implementation can be resolved because they are correct earlier. And of course, always remind you to work safely so that unwanted things don't happen. Even though in the implementation there is such a thing as a contractor or the chief foreman, they still have to remind each other so that implementation goes well and all safety in work is not disturbed. The obligation to be carried out by the owner is of course paying worker wages on the time and according to the term or agreement made, whether it is paid directly to each worker or to the head of the foreman. So some explanation about what is a owner and what is done as owner. Now I will discuss about what a contractor is and what a contractor does. Contractor comes from the word contract, which means a letter of agreement or agreement. Contract can also mean lease, so that the contractor can be equated with a person or legal entity or a business entity that is contracted or here to carry out a work project based on the contents of the contract won by the project owner, who is a government agency or institute, legal entity, business entity, or individuals who have made an official appointment. The area of the contractor business is actually very broad, and each contractor has a business focus and specialization in their respective field. For example, one building contractor providing construction, two service contractor in the field of the labor procurement service, three contractor in the defense and military field, and other. In the topic we are discussing, the contractor in question, building contractor providing construction service. What is done as a contractor is to provide service to carry out building work and labor service that have been agreed with the owner. As a contractor, he must carry out his obligation as a good chief executive so that the work carried out runs well because of the direction in the implementation. As an implementer, he must pay attention to every detail of the job properly so that all work is in accordance with procedure. Always control all work that is carried out so that it runs well and there are no undesirable things starting from a work error or accident at work. That is important or every construction project that sing and use personal protective equipment. And as the chief executive, he is obliged to remind workers to obey this rule. Implementer must also ensure the quality of building made in accordance with established standard and proper procedure. So those are some explanation about the things that are done by the contractor. I hope this explanation can be of little use the listener. Thank you.
Hello, let me introduce. My name is Mardeling Pananginan. I'm architecture. I'm from Manado. At this time, I will explain the work the will do with a contractor. The work include preparing all the needs before designing the building project. Not only that were also contractor signatories with certain with an even working with another work will build the building. Thank you.
will explain my role as a supplier, but let me introduce myself first. My name is Greyti Mosey, Kelas 3 BKPG. I'm joined in Group 9 with topic the Contractors Office. In general, the meaning of the supplier is a party, individual, or company that sells or supplies resources in the form of raw materials to other parties, individual, or company to be processed into certain good or service. Characteristic of supplier is first, serve as a supplier of raw materials or raw goods other companies. Products sold are still raw. They explain vegetable, fruit, soil, gold, metal, as well as semi-finished goods. The explain is paper, plastic, or anything. Function and duties. Supplier have very important function and tasks in the product supplies chain to customer, be it good or service. The function and tasks of the supplier are as follow. First, as a party that ensure the availability of raw materials or raw materials for parties, individual or company. 2. Ensure that the raw materials supplied are still in good condition when received by buyer. 3. Regulate the process of storage of materials before being sent to companies that need them. And 4. That the delivery of raw materials in a timely way to those who need them. I will explain how about the types of suppliers. Of good products. It is a type of supplier that supplies raw materials to make goods in the form of goods. In this case, the suppliers only supplies raw materials to be processed by other parties into a finished goods. Second types of supplier is supplier of service product. This is the type of supplier that supplies raw material to produce products in the form of service. In this case, the supplier only supplies raw material that are processed by other parties into service products then can be sold to customer. Suppliers work. In digital age, as is today, there are various ways that suppliers do in their operational activities. But in a nutshell, there are some things that are done by the parties. Suppliers in conducting their business, namely procurement of raw materials. In the process of procurement of raw materials can be done alone by suppliers in a cooperation with other parties. 2. Making raw material information. Before being sold to other parties, then the supplier must prepare information about the raw material sold. 3. Doing marketing. The marketing process can be through offline or online. Online, for example, by creating website and advertisements to sell certain raw materials. 4. Working with business people. At this stage, the supplier must be committed to be able to supply quality raw materials to business people on a regular basis. 5. Maintaining quality. In this case, the quality of service and the quality of raw materials greatly affect the success of suppliers in running their business.